Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome back to the Straight Pad Podcast. Today I'm going to be analyzing a little bit of an interview, just a small piece between Piers Morgan and Brother Bassem Yousuf. Brother Bassem Yousuf is an established surgeon. He's a comedian. He's in a lot of great work around the world. And currently, he's been one of the defenders of the freedom, the cause of the Palestinian people in Gaza and the West Bank. That what's happening to them, the death toll, that's just heartbreaking, that nobody's doing anything even after seeing all of this bloodshed. So Brother Bassem was talking with Piers Morgan, and while they were talking, he starts talking about the amount of people who have died, and Piers Morgan is like, well, we don't really know. But then 2 minutes later, this is at the 1 hour and 4 minute mark, where Bassem starts talking about it, and Piers Morgan, like, well, we don't really know the death toll. And then Piers Morgan, 2 minutes later, changes the whole narrative. And he's continuously been doing this. He's been one of the better ones when it comes to hosting Palestinian guests and letting them speak a little bit more than the others do. At first, he was cutting them off a lot, but now, like in this interview, for example, he let Brother Bassem talk a lot. So let's listen to what is being said.
If it takes you all of that time, all of these civilians, to take out a few hundred guerrilla fighters.
We don't know how many of the people
a few
who died.
thousand.
We don't know.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but Bassem, you don't know and I don't know.
We don't know, but
right?
like
we don't even know if the casualty numbers are correct because they're all coming from Hamas.
Now listen to this.
And we should, and we should believe Israel.
No, not necessarily. No,
He says we shouldn't
I don't believe either side.
But here's my problem with
But
Israel.
here's my point. I don't think we should assume that we know these statistics
Okay.
are correct.
Like, we don't know the
I don't think we should assume we
numbers
know
on either
exactly how many children have been killed. We do know a lot have been killed, so the moral argument remains the same. But we don't know how many Hamas terrorists have been killed in the last 3 weeks. We just don't know, do we?
So basically, we're dealing with a very incompetent military force that has been sucking America dry for years, and then they cannot do the job.
But how else do they get rid of Hamas?
Not like that.
I think any country.
So as of right now, Piers Morgan has said we shouldn't believe anybody's numbers. We don't know the numbers. This is what he's saying. And he's trying to tell Brother Bassem that, hey, this is how I feel. I'm trying to be indifferent and I'm trying to take both sides, right? And then all of a sudden, 2 minutes later, Piers Morgan goes back to his old narrative, which he keeps going back to the 1,500 Israeli people. If it happened, it's abhorrent and it's horrible. But at the same time, Piers Morgan is the one who's saying we don't know what's the truth or not.
That suffered the kind of terror attack that Israel suffered, with the kind of death toll that occurred that day, 1,500 plus people, grandmothers, kids, young women being raped, kidnapped, beheaded, it's been reported, and so on.
Now look at his eyebrows going up, because he knows 2 minutes ago, Piers Morgan told us we don't know what to believe. We don't know what's the truth or not. And now it's all of a sudden it's changed.
Well, you can raise an eyebrow.
He's like, you can raise your eyebrow. But the fact of the matter is, just 2 minutes ago, you said we don't even know if, when Bassem asked him, do we know if Israel's telling the truth? He said, well, we don't know.
And we should believe Israel?
No, not necessarily, no. No, I don't believe either side.
And then he goes back to the narrative of, well, you know, it might be this much, it's 1,500. Piers Morgan should be very unbiased because he keeps saying, I don't have a dog in the fight, right? He keeps saying that. Be very unbiased.
I don't have a horse in this race. I think I've tried to straddle a divide of being fair-minded with all sides.
If he doesn't believe the Palestinian numbers, he shouldn't believe the Israeli numbers. The one thing all of us are saying is, anytime any innocent person dies, doesn't matter if they're Muslim, Jewish, Christian, Buddhist, Hindu, it's horrible. No innocent people should die because of the games of politicians. This is the one thing. But for Piers Morgan to have such a big platform, who has gained 500,000 subscribers over the last 3 weeks, and honestly, it's due to bringing on these pro-Palestinian, mostly Muslim guests, who have really brought him a lot of following, right? People are, if you look at the numbers of the Muslim interviews that have been given, if you just take Bassem Yousuf's interview, which is like 21 million people have viewed it, and you take all of the pro-Israeli interviews together on Piers Morgan's channel, Bassem Yousuf still did more. And, you know, then you have Muhammad Hijab, then you have others who he brought on. So it just goes to show you that Piers Morgan is getting attention. And the other day he brought on Dr. Jordan Peterson, and Jordan Peterson was like, well, you know, when I sent out that tweet, I lost a lot of Muslim subscribers and followers. And he was upset about that because they were bringing him money. And he's sort of, you know, reminiscing of, if I wouldn't have taken that stance and I wouldn't have gone down that path, I may have increased my viewership and followership and made more money.
You know, I was upset because I had developed somewhat of a Muslim following on YouTube, and I was very happy about that. You know, and I've had extensive conversations with Muslims on my YouTube channel. And, you know, I burnt some of that up. And I'm not sure I did that, well, I would say I'm certain I didn't do that in the most productive manner. And so, do I regret it? It would have been better to do the long form, to have done the long form to begin with.
Piers Morgan needs to stick to the script. If he's saying one thing, then stick to it. Jazakallah khair for watching. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.